You worked abroad for 10 years. You sent money every month. You came home with nothing. You already know why. So here's the part nobody made a video about. What to actually do. Before you left, there was a medical exam, a visa, an agency fee, months of paperwork. But nobody sat you down and said, here's what to do with your money once it starts coming in. That's not an accident. The system that sends Filipino workers abroad was never designed to bring them back wealthy. It was designed to send them back out again. And the banks and lending companies back home? They profit when you're confused. Simple steps aren't good for their business. So the steps never got published. Until now. There are 6 of them. They're not complicated. And every single one has a free, accessible Philippine version, no financial advisor required. Step 1. Before anything else, before investing, before extra remittances, before any of the other 5 steps, build an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your family's total monthly expenses, kept in a separate account, not touched for anything except a real emergency. What counts as a real emergency? A hospitalization, a sudden job loss, a typhoon that destroys the house. That's the fund, not a graduation trip, not a sibling's wedding gift, not a, just this once. Without this buffer, every crisis in your family becomes a loan. And debt, as you're about to see, is the thing that undoes everything else you try to build. Step 2. Kill your consumer debt. All of it. The 5-6 loan from the neighbor. The credit card balance you've been paying the minimum on for 2 years. The appliance installment, the cash loan, the motorcycle plan. Here's the math nobody teaches. A credit card in the Philippines charges 2 to 3% interest per month. That's 24 to 36% per year. Almost no investment in the world consistently earns 36% annually, which means every peso you put into the stock market while carrying credit card debt is a losing trade. Pay the debt first, always. The return on eliminating a 36% debt is better than almost any investment available to ordinary people. Once the debt is gone, it stays gone. No new consumer debt. Not for appliances, not for gadgets, not for celebrations. That chapter is closed. Step 3. Get basic protection in place before you start investing. First, full health. If you're an OFW, your agency should be handling this. If you're employed locally, your employer deducts it. If you're on your own, pay it yourself. It costs very little and covers hospitalization. Second, term life insurance. Not a VUL, variable universal life. That's an investment product dressed up as insurance, and it's usually bad at both jobs. Just plain, simple term life coverage. You pay a small premium every year. If you die while the policy is active, your family receives a lump sum that covers their expenses while they get back on their feet. One hospitalization without coverage can wipe out years of savings. One early death without a policy can collapse everything the family built. Protection first, then you invest. Step 4. Invest before you spend, not after, before. Most people plan to save what's left at the end of the month. There's never anything left. You have to flip the order. Move the investment amount the moment the paycheck arrives, then live on what remains. Where to invest in the Philippines? Start with COL Financial. You can open an account entirely online. The minimum starting amount is 5,000 pesos. The FMETF, the First Metro Exchange Traded Fund, trades on the Philippine Stock Exchange like a single stock. But when you buy one share, you're instantly invested across the top companies in the country at the same time. BDO, BPI, and most major Philippine banks also offer equity mutual funds. You can start with a few thousand pesos. No stock knowledge required. No picking winners. You put in a fixed amount, same amount, every payday, and you leave it alone. That's the method. Not every week. Not when the market looks good. Every payday. Whether the market is up or down. This is called cost averaging, and it removes the need to predict anything. Compounding is just math doing its job over time. Someone who starts at 25 ends up with dramatically more than someone who starts at 35. Not because they're smarter, but because time was on their side. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is the next payday. Step 5. Build one income generating asset back home. This is the step where most OFW families get it slightly wrong. They open a sari store, and then they're running it by phone from abroad. Or a food stall, and it becomes another job someone in the family has to do. The goal of this step isn't another job. The goal is something that earns money while you are not watching it. A room for rent within the family property. A small apartment unit. A franchise business with a hired manager. Agricultural land farmed by a tenant. A vehicle registered under a transport cooperative. You own the asset. Someone else manages the operation. Income flows back to you. This takes more setup than opening a stock account. But it's how OFW families eventually stop trading time for money. That's the whole point of this step. Step 6. Plan your exit before you need one. Every OFW contract ends. Every earning season stops. Your body will eventually not be able to do the same work. The company will downsize. The demand will shift. The opportunity will disappear. Most families plan for the next contract, not for the day when there's no contract at all. The exit plan is just a number. How much monthly income does your family need to live comfortably at home, without any foreign salary coming in? Write that number down. Then look at steps 4 and 5. How much are you building toward that number every month? When will steps 4 and 5 together produce enough to cover it? That date is your target. Work backward. Adjust how much you invest, what asset you build, and how long you're willing to stay abroad. That's a plan. That's more than most families ever had. Here's what's strange about all of this. None of these 6 steps are a secret. None of them require a finance degree. None of them need connections, a wealthy family, or luck. Emergency fund. Kill the debt. Get protection. Invest every payday. Build one asset. Plan the exit. 6 steps. That's it. The reason most Filipino families haven't followed them isn't intelligence or discipline. It's timing. Nobody sat them down and explained this before the money started moving. By the time most OFW workers hear about investing, they've already been sending remittances for 5 years with nothing set aside. The window didn't close, it just was never open for them. The BSP, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, has free financial literacy modules online. COL Financial has tutorials. The FMETF has a beginner guide on the PSE website. Everything you need to start is free. The information was always there. The problem was nobody pointed to it before you boarded the plane. You worked abroad for 10 years. You sent money every month. You came home with nothing. That was the trap. But the trap only works when nobody tells you the steps out. Now you know them. Quick question. Which of these 6 steps is your family already on? Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Drop the number in the comments. I genuinely want to know where most people are starting from. And if this helped, or if you know an OFW family that needs to hear this, share it with them. Subscribe too, because there's more of this coming. Stories Filipinos need to hear, every week.